All right, and the last type of factoring, same as before, although this is a more of a procedure approach to factoring these. And I started with this one that we took from the previous video. So we use that as introduction to this idea. Now, all of these problems, you're going to start with this, and we have so A, B, and C from the quadratic formula. And now you're not really sure how to split this up. Now I started us with the answers, so we kind of know what to expect. However, if you're not sure, um, there's a sort of a method about this. And what we need to figure out is, well, negative 59 and the 6, it's all going to play together. And so we need to, the trick to kind of figure this out is we're going to have to think about which numbers add to the b value, which is negative 59 in this case, and then multiply to not just c, like in the, if a was, like in some of the previous examples when they're simpler, this is just that it multiplies to the c value. Now, to account for this 6 in the problem, we have to multiply these two together. And so in this cross, one of the numbers has to add up to negative 59. Excuse me, the two numbers together add up to 59, but they multiply, we multiply these two, they multiply to negative 60. And the answers would be 60 and 1, and then the 60 is going to be negative. Now, those are not the numbers in the parenthesis like they were in the easier problems. So this is one step more complicated in addition to having to multiply a times c to figure out this trick. So what we're going to do is take this to the box, and 6x squared and negative 10 are already known. And then what this cross told us is how to split up negative 59x's. And then in no particular order, we figured out that they split into negative 60x, that's this one, and then 1x, or just x, that's the other one. So this cross just tells us how to split up the middle term because it's been simplified in this version. From there, we still have to figure out the side lengths. Now, your options are 2 and 3x or 6 and 1. And looking at the negative 60 in the problem, it's most likely to be 6x because I can see, well, there's a common factor of 6 to both of these, and x. And if that's true, this is a plus 1 to get 1x and a minus 10 to get all of these numbers in the bottom row. So there's still a little bit of puzzling to figure out at that level. But those are the factors here. So notice here the plus 1 and the minus 10, that's not these numbers like they were in the easy problems. So let's go ahead and try that with the problems that we don't know the answers to. In this case, for our trick here, it has to add to 17, so that's this middle term, and the numbers have to multiply to 12 times 6, 72. Okay, and then let's try to keep my colors coordinated here. While we're thinking about that, let's just put everything else that we know, 12x squared, 6, and then how are we going to separate the 17x's? Numbers that add, let's see, that'd be 9 and 8. So we have, all right, so all that said was that we have 9x and 8x, and it doesn't matter which box, which corner they go in of those two. And now we have to figure out the side lengths. Again, still a bit of a challenge. So we have to kind of think of what numbers are in the problem. Common factors here, both the 9 and the 6. I'm going to actually start there because that seems to be the easiest. 9 and the 6 are both have a common factor of 3. So I'm pretty sure that's a 3, and it's positive. Everything in the problem is positive. Now, if that's true, this would have to be a positive 2, and that has a common factor of 2. So that's how we get the 6. It could be a different combination, but considering what else is in the problem. Now, if that's true, then this would have to be, let's see, multiplying. So it'd have to be a 4 and a 3. No, 4 would have to go over here. So 4 goes into 8, 4 goes into 12, 3 goes into 12, 3 goes into 9. So I'm looking at my common factors here. Okay, so this one, in no particular order, doesn't matter which one you list first here. Those are the factors. Okay. Last one on this example, we're going to take a look at some ones with some negatives in them. Okay, it's going to add to -2, and then 8 times -15. Let's see, -135. No, -130, 20. Doing this in my head on the fly here. Yeah, -120. Okay, that one's a little bit trickier. I have to add up to -2. So -120 is probably 10 and 12. And then to make it add to negative, this one's going to be negative. Okay, so those two, that's how we're going to split up this middle term. And let's take those parts to our box. And put in here, we had 8x squared, -15. That's from here. And then the -2x is again, that's a simplified amount here. Those together in these two corners, they add up to -2x. And we just figured out the way to split it up, 10x and -12x. Okay, so we have the box, reversing the box method, sort of undistributing everything. That's the factoring. So I'm going to start with this -15. I think that's easiest. Pretty sure it's a 5 and a 3. And the 5 goes here because I see in the 10 and the 12 would make the 3 go to here. One of these is negative, and see, I see this column is all negative, so I'm pretty sure it's the -3. And if that was the case, this would have to be 4x, and this would have to be 2x, which does make 8x squared. So that's how we get all these pieces to come together. Again, not an easy method. It's not an easy skill in general. Everything's sort of in reverse, which is a much trickier direction to do everything in. So we have the cross, we have the box, we have the factors. And the cross and the box are just a trick, sort of that's the recipe, the method to figure out what the factors are, which is the end goal after everything.